everybody. Welcome back to Who's Your Band. I'm Jeffrey Paul, and I am sitting here with my co-host, Sean Morton.
Hello, handsome. How are you today?
Handsome, you are a kind man. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I have cataracts.
How have you been, man? It's been a
Fantastic.
minute.
Busy, man.
I saw you about 2-3 weeks ago. You were headlining Catch a Rising Star.
Yes.
And I was saying before the show started, I thought that was maybe one of the best times I've ever seen you perform.
Well, I appreciate that. It's hard to keep the grind going, and you got to constantly keep your chops up and keep getting better and better, and hopefully getting better. Unlike my show Sunday, which, ooh. But anyway, that's in the past.
No, dude. I mean, you took an audience that I go see your show, and this audience was like, they were just kind of like sitting there. They were just like blobs. And then all of a sudden, man, he turned into this riotous, raucous type of affair, and it was really good. If you guys, I hate to say this to him like while he's sitting here, I really fucking hate saying this, but if you get a chance to see Sean Morton, go see Sean Morton live. He is really a lot of fun.
Pants?
How much did you pay him for all this? I've known you a long time. I've never said anything that nice.
He was really
wow.
good. Listen, man,
I agree with everything.
You got to give the guy credit where credit's due. And that third voice you heard chiming in, that golden smog of a voice, that is smog, fog, whatever it is. But
smog? I've been called many a thing, but smog that's a first.
It usually ends in a G, too.
That throaty voice is our guest for today, man. We are excited to have Mr. Scott Lynch from WDHA FM Radio with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
The host of Metal Mania on Friday nights at 11 to 1. Now, if you're not in the Jersey area, you can actually go on iHeartRadio and check them out. And actually, it's what I do when I'm working on Friday nights when I come home for the gig. All right, I will say this. The bad thing about Scott's radio station, it's the best rock station in New Jersey, by far, if you live within 11 miles of Dover, because you can't get great reception on the radio there. But it's on iHeartRadio, and anywhere I am in the country, I make sure that I put it on anytime between 11 and 1 on Friday nights.
And he always tunes in, especially when I screw up.
Yes, it does happen a lot.
I remember one of the last times you called, you're like, oh, and I'm like, really, I can't have a CD just like skip and nobody notices. I forgot what it was, but you totally.
Let me ask you off the bat. Didn't Eddie Trunk start on the station?
Yeah, man.
I remember listening to the station.
Eddie did the show years ago. Matt Murray did this show before me. I know there was somebody else. There was a woman that hosted Metal Mania before I did, before Matt, I think even, and. But I think I'm the guy that's hosted it the longest now. I think I'm going on 13 years.
Wow.
13 years of hosting Metal Mania now.
And it's tough because we want to always go to concerts on a Friday night. I'm like, hey, Scott, can you believe the show? It's Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax.
That Friday night I take off. That Friday night I can take off. But there's so many Friday nights, like I can't tell you how many times I've missed Machine Head on the last couple of years. Like, Machine Head's coming Friday. Well, giving away tickets at least. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody else is happy.
Now, how did you get into radio? Did you actually go to school for radio? Or?
No.
Yeah, you interned on the tour bus, correct?
The closest thing I ever got to going to school was being invited to speak to the kids at Seton Hall a couple of years ago, which I thought was one of the coolest things ever. But no, I met Ralph from the tour bus at a live broadcast at the Birch Hill nightclub.
Okay.
And I answered a ridiculous 80s metal trivia question about the band The Sleazebees. And he couldn't believe I knew who the hell this band was.
Is that why you played it this week?
Yeah. And we just started talking, and I annoyed the hell out of him until he gave me a job.
That was a nationally syndicated radio show.
Yeah, the tour bus was over 40 stations nationwide, and that was.
I think I remember listening to that as well.
Yeah, it was a great rock show.
I had the best internship you could possibly imagine. My first day talking on the radio was with Peter Steele from Typo Negative.
Wow. And how long were you on the tour bus?
Tour bus, oh God, it was like a good 7 years, I think.
Wow.
We were on. I mean, I came onto the tour bus. It had to have been at least 6-7 years while I was on, and then it continued on without me for a few more years with Ralph and Melissa hosting the show.
And Ralph Sutton has now graduated to. He actually built his own radio network called Gas Digital with Luis Gomez.
Of course.
And that's where Scott started from.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. It's a small world, man. Small community.
Oh, yeah. You find out everybody knows each other coming around or going around or whatever.
And speaking of community, where did you grow up?
I'm born in the Bronx, grew up in Bergenfield. So I'm a Jersey boy, North Jersey.
You went to high school in Jersey?
Yeah. Bergenfield all the way through.
Were you a metal guy? If
course.
There's going to be a video element to this. If you look at Scott, there's no way this guy was a disco guy.
No. That basically looked exactly like this with no facial hair and a mullet. That was high school me. I really 100% metal. Like, what was it? Found Kiss. That was the first band. I found Kiss. My buddy lived across the street, who's now a cop. He goes, "Dude, you got to hear this band." And it was Kiss, Creatures of the Night. He played War Machine for me.
Oh,
and I
wow.
got to hear, it was War Machine
Wow.
and Appetite for Destruction. He had both of those vinyls. And it was the unedited Appetite for
the
Destruction cover. So I was like, what in the hell is this? And I heard those first two songs, and it just went on from there.
Was your first band Kiss too? Like that got you into like hard rock?
No, Guns. Well, I liked the basic stuff, but it was Appetite for me. It was that. It was
The
Guns N'
first that was the
Roses.
first one you heard.
Yeah, it was like the first CD I ever bought for myself. Like I heard like Welcome to the Jungle, and I was like, that's it. Like this is everything. And then I just beat that. I actually went through like 5 Appetite CDs because I wore it out so much.
That's insane. You know what? When Appetite came out and you heard "Welcome to the Jungle" for the first time, man, that was like no other song that was on the radio
yeah.
at that time.
Oh, it was insane. And
So
then
that
like
video for the first time in MTV, I'm like, what the? You know, that band just came out on stage and just destroyed, man.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially at a very, impressionable young age where you're just like soaking in everything from MTV.
Oh yeah, and it was also weird too because Axl had the real poofy Poison hair.
Exactly, which is not
too.
Axl, which
Right.
is very misleading.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And so you're in New Jersey, and you're listening to Kiss, and so how do you go from Kiss? What would you say? The album was
Creatures of the Night.
Creatures
and Creatures of the Night. They still had the makeup, right?
It was just switching over from
Yeah.
makeup to no makeup on that record.
Okay. And then when you go from Kiss to who your band is,
Well, I mean, from Kiss to Pantera, I mean, those two bands, are very well connected. Pantera loved Kiss.
that's
They were
true.
huge Kiss
That's true.
fans.
I think Dimebag, that was like his big influence was.
He was buried
was
in a Kiss casket.
Correct. You are right, sir.
I got a great story about Dime meeting him one night, but with the whole Kiss, to go from Kiss, I think like a lot of metalheads or rock fans, Kiss is like that first band, especially
It was my first band.
around my age group or whatever. Like Kiss was that band that you saw because they had everything. They had the makeup, they had the fire, the huge stage and all the craziness. And then between that and MTV, you just it progressed. Then you find Motley Crue, then you find Poison and all these '80s rock bands. And then it was Metallica. Then my friends listened to Cannibal Corpse and Deicide, and then Pantera. It was like the music went from like rock and roll to extreme metal to Pantera, and then I was like, "Whoa, this is the band, man. This is it."
I always say, well, we've been friends probably about 10 years or so,
Even
close to 10
longer,
years.
man.
But I would always run into Scott at every metal show. So we have a great metal. We had a great metal scene.
Where'd you guys go?
Well, we would always be at the Birch Hill
Birch
back
Hill.
when the Birch Hill
Okay,
was open.
right.
And it was always I was with my one friend Joel.
It's not open anymore?
No, they
No,
closed
they
a
closed it
while
down. It's
ago.
an old age home now.
It's, now
Oh,
Star-
get out of here!
Yeah, it's a retirement home.
now Starland is the big place. But we would always see this guy with the long hair and glasses with no goatee, and he would have his hand on his head, and he would be headbanging by himself. And for years, we were like,
Girls love that,
who
by
is
the
this?
way.
Oh yeah,
I was like, who is this hot chick?
in the front.
But then we met through a mutual friend, and we hit it off talking about music and stuff like that. But we grew up in a great area because we would go to places like the Birch Hill,
Yeah.
and it was either bands that were coming on the way up or bands that were kind of fizzling a little bit.
Who'd you see on the way up? I love finding like
So I can remember
Korn.
seeing Korn, Stained, System of a Down
Yep.
playing there.
Dude, System of a Down opening up for Slayer at the Birch Hill.
Yep, I remember.
my
I was at that
God.
show at the Birch Hill.
Holy
It
smokes!
2,000 people maybe. at the
What
most.
year is this about? 90s.
97 maybe.
You'd have to look up the first
I think
System of a
around
Down album.
97, I would say.
Slayer was doing the covers album.
Yep.
And they were, kind of like chilling right where they were, and System was just starting to gain momentum. And I remember seeing them just tear up Birch Hill, and after the show, the guys were just hanging out after the show because they were a new band, and they were just hanging out and just talking, drinking beers, totally cool dudes. I'm like, hope I get to see you guys again. Didn't realize the next time I'd see them, I'd be in like the 200 section of a stadium.
Right.
I didn't think it was going to get like that.
They just took off. But like Stained opened up for like every band, every tour for like 2 years on that first album. So I saw them there probably 10 times. But it was all these amazing rock bands. And, I don't think we ever saw Pantera. Pantera never played there unless they did it on the glam side.
I know people have told me about Pantera concerts and tours before. I want to say that like they started to like really make it or really get developed. Like the Cowboys from Hell tour, I know people that saw them playing like little tiny clubs on Cowboys from Hell.
Well, they were opening for Skid Row on that tour.
No, that was Vulgar.
Was it Vulgar?
That was the Vulgar tour when they were opening up for Skid Row. That was my first Pantera show. Was Skid Row. Pantera opening up for Skid Row, Meadowlands parking lot, the amphitheater in the Meadowlands parking lot.
What a weird show, Skid Row and Pantera.
And that wasn't even with Sebastian at that point.
Oh no, it was with Sebastian,
that was
but
the Human Race album.
Right? No, it was Slave to the Grind.
Oh, that's
It
right.
was Slave to the Grind,
That's the second album.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
Phenomenal. It's a heavy record.
Real album.
Oh yeah, it has quick saying Jesus and Slave to and was Monkey Business on that one too.
Yep.
That's one.
It's a great song.
I can remember being in sophomore year of high school and
Great
just
scream.
popping that cassette in my Walkman for the first time, and Monkey Business is track 1 on side 1, and as soon as he hits that high note, I went, "Holy shit!" Like I never heard anything like that kind of scream before. But we're going to go back to Pantera, and this is my theory, and a lot of people look at me funny when I say this, and I always say that there's godfathers of metal, okay, and obviously Sabbath is the first, right? No one can ever deny that.
I'd go back further and say Zeppelin, but I say Zeppelin. I think Zeppelin and then Black Sabbath.
Wait, as metal?
Yeah.
I would never see. That's where we disagree here a little bit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think
they're more of a bluesy hard rock. Sabbath had bluesy, but they started like metal, like a little heavier, like a little more of those like more power.
Oh no!
chords,
Listen,
right?
I 100% Black Sabbath is, but I just think there was Led Zeppelin just had that little bit before, and then Black Sabbath took the ball and ran with it.
Okay. I go Black Sabbath, and then I say the next big trend was about 6 years later when you start with the Maiden and Judas Priest.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then I go, the next big one is Metallica. And even though it's considered a thrash band, I still think that they're the next the next line. But after that, it's Pantera.
100%.
Well, they like when we are the 2 shows ago. We had what's his name?
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson. Who's his band?
Deftones.
Okay, Deftones. Okay, I think Pantera is the heavy metal band of the '90s.
Yes. No question.
Okay, just like I thought, Korn and my favorite Rage was like the rap
90s,
metal
2000s.
of the '90s, but Pantera was different than those guys. They
Absolutely.
were straight off metal.
Yeah, and the only band that's even come close, and it's one of our favorite bands too, and they're just like hovering under that level as Machine Head. But I think it still stops at Pantera. I don't think there's any major metal band that's come out that's taken it to that level since Pantera.
Since Pantera, there's a couple that have come close. I mean, I think Lamb of God. Definitely,
they're a great band, but again,
not on the level. I mean, Pantera could, would headline the arena,
right?
Brendan
But I'm
Byrne
saying,
Arena.
well, I mean, metal then
compared
the way metal music was coming out then compared to now, when you had MTV and you had major airplay and a lot of promotion going behind a record. Where now it's like it's promoted up to the release date, and once it's out, it's kind of like, there you go, there's your record. It's very different, from when Pantera was growing and turning into what they became, and now Lamb of God, like trying to come up the same way. They just have that. They have that groove. They got that bit of a southern thing to them, and I just think that I'm hoping with their new record that Slayer, hung the hat. And they're like, "Who's next?"
Did you see that Lamb of God is touring now?
Yeah. They just went. It's going on sale
with
Lamb of God Megadeth.
That's right.
In Flames. I can't wait to see
Trivium.
In Flames. I know Trivium.
And where are they playing? What kind
PNC
of
Bank
PNC.
Arts Center.
on a Saturday.
Okay, that's a good spot for them.
It's gonna be great.
You need two big bands to fill that show.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
Because Megadeth, I don't know if is going to do that show by themselves and come anywhere near selling that place out. Lamb of God adds the little push.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Trivium and In Flames are just two great support bands for them. But
That's going to be one of my top shows of the summer. I can't
so
wait.
when you go back to Pantera, like Pantera actually started out as like a glam band. I don't know if you were aware of that or
That was
not.
before Phil was in the band.
Yes.
Before Phil was in the band, they had 4 albums, I think, right?
3 or 4.
Three
yeah.
or 4 albums. And they go from
And
power metal.
and their name wasn't just Pantera. They came. It was Pantera something else.
No,
No,
just,
it was always
no.
Pantera.
Before Phil was in the band, when they first came out, look at their first album. It was Pantera and had a different name to
it
it.
said power metal underneath.
It wouldn't say power.
Like, I don't know.
No. And then they wound up having to shorten it because it was just easier to say Pantera instead of this other name. The rest of the name escaped.
Now I got to go
Yeah, I
and
know.
Google
Me too.
search this.
So
I
they
got to
go.
check this out.
So they go from power metal, which is, in theory, it's not a bad record.
No,
Okay? It's not a bad record. It's just not who they were. And you go into Cowboys from Hell, and that was a sound that just completely changed the way metal sounded.
So I didn't get into Pantera until Vulgar because I think I was a little too young, and the video for Cemetery Gates used to creep me out.
It was a very creepy video.
It used to creep me out at 1 o'clock in the morning watching Headbangers Ball. I'm like,
The song is a creepy song.
it's a great song.
Well, it was on
That's an awesome record
It was on a
too.
soundtrack too, wasn't it? I think that's what got him to push. I forgot what movie it was on, but
It
it
was
on that.
not Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, it was like a horror movie.
Demon Knight.
Demon Knight. Yeah.
Demon Knight. Machine Head's on that soundtrack too.
So they go from that and they start really breaking out. And then Vulgar Display of Power comes out. And now if you look back, and that's probably almost 30 years at this point, it's about 28 years since that album came out. And I think people still consider it one of the top 5 metal albums of all time.
It's always up there in the top 10.
There's not one bad song
Right.
on that record, And then they go from that to
My favorite.
mine too, Far Beyond Driven. It's the first metal album to ever debut at number 1 on Billboard Top 200.
I waited outside Tower Records, New York City, on release day to meet Pantera that day. This is back when Tower Records used to have the store in the Village. Of
course.
And they used to do autograph signings there all the time. Went for Anthrax, Kiss. But Pantera, that was the first time I had ever gone down there, and I was just freaking out, standing in line, losing my freaking mind. And I just couldn't wait to, have that out. This was before the internet, and you couldn't, you heard what was on TV or the radio, and that was it.
Those were great times.
That was great because it was the anticipation of getting the record.
Simple, but it was so exciting to have the physical album in your hand, and like it's great when you could just download something now in 30 seconds you get it, but it didn't. But nothing beats the
doesn't have that
anticipation of opening up, smelling it. Sometimes it had a poster in it. Sometimes it had the lyric sheet. I always found that very
hated when they
exciting.
didn't put the freaking lyrics in because you just be singing along and then finally you find the lyrics and you go, oh crap, I
That's
was
what he's
totally
saying.
off. I am not even close to the
And we're big
lyrics.
vinyl collectors too. Scott is as well as I am, but it is a different feeling. I mean, because I love, first of all, the hunt of trying to find stuff that you like, because they're doing all of these reissues now. But for me, as far as a music collector goes, it's tough for me because the stuff that I really want comes from between 1989 and 93
When they stopped
and when
making
they
vinyl.
stopped making vinyl. And a lot
You
of
should
it
have
is
known me back then.
Well, a lot of
I
it's-
would have had everything. I used to own a record store.
Really?
That's how I put myself through college.
No way.
Yeah.
Which one?
I owned a store in Staten Island called First Time Records. I was 20 years old when I opened it. My dad gave me money. I had money saved up for a car and to go to spring break in Florida. My father gave me some money to start it, and my parents helped me run it. And that's how I put myself through school. And from that, I was able to get a job working for CBS Records, working in the A&R department, being the go-between between the artists and the accounting department.
That's awesome.
that.
That's awesome.
I just found out about that. I know this guy for years.
That's a
Wow.
great gig, man.
Yeah.
That is a great gig.
I had Twisted Sister come down and do an autograph signing.
That's awesome, man.
See, I don't know if I can show you this picture, Sean, because there's a picture of me. Okay, I have almost like a flock of seagulls type of haircut.
That
but
should be on the screen right now.
With
It should be-
a Jeremy, what's the porn star? Ron Jeremy mustache.
Oh, please
just a mustache.
Please let me see that picture.
With an open shirt.
Don't you have somebody here to search the internet and pop that up right there, right now?
You would take out
What are these guys
billboards.
doing here, for the love of God?
I might. I didn't know that. That's pretty
One
cool,
of you
man.
find this, please.
But I agree, man. It's like for me now, it's not even so much of a nostalgia thing going to record shopping. It's just my preferred way of relaxing, chilling. It's a hobby.
100%.
You know, I go
Totally
out
get
when
that.
when I'm on the road. I have an app it's called the Vinyl District or something to that effect, and you just put your address in, and it tells you every record store within miles of there. I travel all over. I grab records all the time. It's the ripping it open. It's the smelling it. It's the seeing the pictures on the inside. You can't look at that on your phone. The phone's great
Doesn't
when you're in a
work.
car.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But I actually wound up buying the whole Pantera box set.
Yeah,
on
oh, yeah.
vinyl.
I remember that.
And there was one special 7-inch inside that box set, and I gave it to a very special sweet boy.
And the label tore off already.
Did it really?
I'm joking.
Oh, you dick.
Sweet boy.
I'm looking at that vinyl box set. I'm like, I have all, but I need it, but I have them all already.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that was in the box set I couldn't
Maybe
get.
you guys know this better than I do, but how did Pantera find Phil to take over the vocals? Was it an
VH1
audition?
Behind the Music definitely covered it way better than I could right now. I don't remember. I think it was just jamming out and hanging out that they had met him and just figured this is gonna work. I totally forget, but I'm just happy it happened because that just Pantera it just put me down the road of heavier and more heavier music and
that was one thing about them too. Is like you hear the progression of how heavy they were from Cowboys that went to Vulgar, and then Far Beyond Driven is a heavy album.
It's nuts.
I mean, 5 Minutes Alone and I'm Broken are two of the greatest metal songs ever written.
Becoming
Becoming
is the greatest riff. I love that's the song Driving. I'm speeding
and then
every time.
And then they take off. Now they're the biggest metal band out there. And they actually did something that I think a lot of their fans were kind of taken back by a little bit. They put out this album, The Great Southern Trendkill,
which was even heavier.
Got heavier. So a lot of bands get really heavy and they trail off a little bit, and they just got twice as heavy on this album. And some of the fans were like, "This is a little much." Like it was very, very heavy.
I will never forget. Again, prior to the internet, buying that album, getting it home, and I remember one of my friends left me a message like, "Dude, wait till you hear the first 5 seconds." And you popped in and you just hear Phil go, "Ah!" and just that scream let out. I was like, "What in the?" Just blown away by that record.
Yeah, and that was the tour. That tour, I saw them 5 times in 8 days. Because I think that was the tour they
3 nights at Hammerstein Ballroom.
I'm just
that were
gonna ask you.
postponed, and then they had to
How many times have you seen Pantera?
Oh God, the first 4 are the ones that I always remember. The first 4, the last show.
What was the last show you saw?
The last show was their final tour with Slayer and Static X and Scrape. At
When was that? Do you know?
Oh God, I couldn't tell you the year off the top of my head. I just
That
remember.
had to be on the Reinventing the Steel.
Yeah, it was Reinventing the Steel. Pantera headlined over Slayer, Static X, Scrape, and it was at Nassau Coliseum. That was the last time I saw him.
That was a
Probably
great place to see shows.
That was nuts. It was one of the better Pantera's shows I saw was them with Typo Negative, and I think Prong was on that bill as well, if I remember correctly, at Nassau Coliseum.
Now, in this room right now is going to be a little sacrilege, but I was never really a huge Pantera fan. I was, around that same time, I was still into like Maiden. I loved Motley Crue.
So did I.
I love that. I only saw them once, and I was working the show.
With Black Sabbath.
No.
White Zombie.
Exactly.
Oh, I was gonna say, the
And it was
Zombie
White
Show was another
Zombie
great
and
one.
one other band. That was on.
Deftones.
That was it.
They opened up.
Because we talked about that on
Singer,
the first show.
the singer lost his shoe at the show.
That was
Somebody
it.
took his shoe when he jumped in the audience.
But this is also the thing. Pantera, because we're all backstage, and we can't leave until the band leaves. Okay? What time do you think Pantera finally left the arena?
2:30.
4 o'clock in the morning.
We talked about this because I was drinking with Dimebag in the parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. We did discuss this. Right. And they trashed the place and had to spend a couple $1,000 to make
But
good.
that's back when they made a couple $1,000 and went, "Psh, so what? You
Exactly.
trash a hotel, you trash an arena. Here's a couple grand. Don't worry."
And they were good, but I also loved White Zombie, though.
Oh, dude, that was a great show. I was right up in front on the railing all night for that one.
Were you really?
Oh, yeah. Right up against the railing, singing right at Sean from White Zombie because that new song from Escape from L.A. was just came out. I remember pick right at me. I'm like, yes. Just, oh, yeah. Because she was the only chick in metal. It was like
Oh, yeah.
her and there was like Kitty and Drain STH were like the only like females in like heavy metal other than like Doro and Lita Ford from the
Wait,
80s.
Vixen isn't a heavy metal band?
We can cut them too.
Well,
Really?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you could, but I'm saying
They're
like
not
as
metal.
far as like music that I really, heavier music that I liked,
Yeah.
and she was just up on stage and just throwing down, and then Pantera. That was just a great night. It was another great night. It
actually really was.
I never saw a Pantera show and went, meh. Like I never walked out of there and went, it could have been better. I always walked out there going, black and blue across my ribs from being pressed against the guardrail, shirt torn, cracked a guy in the head in Asbury Park for just trying to start a fight with me for no good reason. I'm like, I just want to see a show.
And that was when they were touring with Machine Head and Cold Chamber.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's when I
that-
saw them the 5 times. That was
What timeline? What
so
year is
that's,
that about?
So that's reinventing. That's Trendkill, which is probably 90.
99?
No. That's 95 or 96 because they ended up in like 98, 99.
Okay.
So they put out Reinventing the Steel and that was it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was probably 95, 96.
And then they just kind of fell off, right? There was like a dispute between.
The problem, what happened was there was the dispute between the Abbott brothers and Phil were having their differences. They took some time apart.
and Phil had some problems at the time.
Oh yeah, Phil was having a lot of problems. He was dealing with his own personal demons
Right.
and whatnot. But it seemed
it's called
like
heroin. What you say?
hey, listen,
Thank
He
you.
ain't listening.
Thank you, bull in the china closet.
I wasn't there. That's why I'm just like, I don't know. I just know we had his thing going on, and the brothers went their way. Phil, I think that's when he did the Down record,
yeah.
and then they came back for Reinventing the Steel. But that record was recorded, and they weren't even in the same room for it.
Right.
When they did Reinventing the Steel, like Phil was tracking in one place, and the brothers were tracking somewhere else, and they
And
were just
what band did they start again?
Damage Plan.
Damage Plan.
And that was right.
That was the band that were when Dimebag got killed.
yeah.
That was in Ohio.
Correct. And around Columbus, I believe.
I don't
Columbus,
remember. where I just remember.
Columbus or Akron.
And Phil started a band called Down, like what Scott was saying. And Down, if you ever heard it, is that album is
that debut
absolute-
record turns 25 years old. This
Yeah,
year.
it's a masterpiece. It's fantastic. It's sludgy. It's stoner rock. It's just really gritty and grindy. I mean, that has Hail the Leaf.
So much
Stone the
great-
Crow,
so much great music on
Temptations,
that one.
Wings. These are you've heard all these songs and you have no idea that it's a singer from Pantera. It really is. I mean, it's just one of those bands that never really made it super huge, but they put out I think 3 albums at this point, right? Or 4.
There was 3 full lengths and then 2 EPs, if I remember
yeah.
correctly.
And they're actually coming back on their 25th anniversary tour now.
with Phil and band.
With Phil singing, and it's Pepper Keenan from Corrosion of Conformity.
Oh, wow.
Plays in there too.
You also
And
got
then,
Kurt from
and then
Crowbar, too.
Yes.
the brother, the drummer, he started Hell Yeah, right?
Well,
That was after Damage Plan.
after Daryl was killed, and Pantera was 100% never going to be
Never gonna
back
happen
together. Vinny got together with the singer from Mudvayne and started Hell Yeah.
Right.
And he got a couple of his other buddies. It was the bass player from
always-
Damage Plan was in there. at
They
the time
always
when he
sounded
started.
really good. I thought
loved
that
Hell
was
Yeah.
Great
yeah.
band. Great
Loved
band.
Hell Yeah. I got to see Vinny the year before, the year that he passed away. It was a few months earlier. We were in Vegas. I got to go to Vegas to do this radio thing, and Vinny Paul ends up hanging out at this thing, and I'm just like, holy crap, Vinny Paul's here.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting to just talk to him for like a few minutes and just tell him, just say thank you and just say hi. Because I'm 100% full on fanboy. And I'm like, I got to keep it together. I'm a radio guy. Vinny Paul! I'm like,
I did the same thing with him too when I met him out in San Bernardino, but it was kind of like a weird interaction because it was obviously after Dimebag had died, right? And they're doing a signing at the show that we're doing.
This is Hell Yeah.
Yeah, this is Hell Yeah. So they're standing there. I buy the record. I'm getting it signed, and I walk up to him. He's like, "What's up, man?" I go, "I got a problem with you." And his face turned really quick, and as soon as I said that, I'm like, "Oh, I should not have said that." It's like now he's got the bulletproof vest on, shit, but he had a Cowboys jersey on. So I'm like, "I'm from Jersey, and I don't like the Cowboys." He goes, "That's the problem?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you got no problems in your life, brother. It's all cool." I'm like,
Dude,
so
Vinny,
nice, man.
So nice.
Now, I'm sorry. Did you say you also met Dimebag?
I had the pleasure of meeting all of Pantera.
Tell us about that.
It happened a couple of times. I mean, like I did the record signing.
Was this for work or was this?
No, this is all just me being a fanboy and sneaking around backstage. But You know, the first time I met him was at the record signing. They were all nice as hell. You've seen my big wall of Pantera that is hanging in my office, my poster from that day that I got to meet them all. But they did maybe a week or 2 weeks later. It was 2 nights in a row, Pantera, Far Beyond Driven, Roseland Ballroom. Got tickets for both nights. I'm like, there's no way I'm picking one night.
Great venue also.
Oh, it's amazing.
God, I miss
Amazing
Roseland
venue.
so
Right?
much. Oh, so
So
many good
Nirvana
shows
there.
there.
Yeah,
son
so
of
did
a-
I. I snuck into that show. I was 17. I snuck into that show. I caught like the last 4 songs.
I think that was the last time they ever played in New York too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
absolutely.
was. So we're at the New York show. Saw it the first night. The second night, I bring a cutout of Gene Simmons that I've had hanging in my room. It's like a cardboard cutout of just like Gene about yay tall, and a Kiss T-shirt. And I'm like, I just want to wait backstage I by the door and give these to Dime. That's all I want to do is give him the Dime. I just want to give him a gift.
And did you look like this at the time?
With no facial hair and just the mullet starting to come out a little bit.
And
you know.
40 pounds less.
Yeah, 40. God bless you. So, yeah, pretty much. And I'm just waiting at the backstage door, and people are coming in and out. I see Big Val, the security dude. He's like, what's up? I'm like, what's up, man? Big Val. And Dime comes darting out, and he jumps into a van. And I was just like, dude, I got some for you. He's like, what's that, man? And I like hand it to him through the window. And he's like, whoa, yeah. Sitting there with this old Gene Simmons cut. He's like, yo, this is badass, man. Thanks. And the van takes off. And I'm like, well, I still got this T-shirt. I'm like, fuck, I wanted to give him the shirt. And Big Val sees us. Me and my buddy that were out there. And he's like, you guys are still waiting? I go, well, I wanted to give him the shirt, but, you know, he took off. He goes, come in here. Brings us in the backstage. 2 VIP passes for the night.
There's
And
nothing
he goes,
better than a security guard that gets it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
who knows, like you're not a dick.
Yeah.
You're just like you're there because you really appreciate the band.
And Val was great. He was just a good dude. I mean, this guy was touring with them for years.
Yeah.
And I remember he just whips him out and he goes, hang out after the show, give him the T-shirt. And I'm like, this is freaking great. I'm gonna freaking meet Pantera. And he goes, oh, you get to sit up on the side stage tonight too. I'm like, what? Wow. I'm up on the side stage. I'm like 3 songs in, and I'm like, oh hell no! And I just dive off the stage right into the audience, into the pit. I'm like, oh, I'm losing it. I'm just,
That's
just
awesome.
completely hyped up. And at the end of the night, sweaty, beaten up, had a great time, and got to go
Needless
back
to
there
say,
and just
no girlfriend at the time.
No.
Not at all. No, not one. Because listen, I didn't need a girlfriend, man. I had Pantera, and all my friends going, "You met Pantera? What?" I'm like, "Dude, it was great." And we went back after the show, and just like we hung out. And I remember giving Dime the shirt, and he's like, "Dude, there's beer over there. There's hard liquor over there. Help yourself, man. Hang
Was
out,
there a crowd?
have a good time." You know, I couldn't tell. I just
Because you
remember-
know he had a pool
Oh, yeah.
shaped in,
I
in
know
a
he
crown
loved
bottle.
his crown. I know he loved his crown. But all I remember is
And when he died, they said there was like
bottles and bottles.
that filled up the casket.
I just remember cracking open a beer and just being like, I'm not old enough to drink this, and I'm hanging out with Pantera. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
you
right?
know? And it was a great night. It was, you know, one of those things I'll never forget. I mean, the first time I ever met Vinnie Paul, it was even before the autograph signing. I met Vinnie Paul at Roseland, Infectious Groove Suicidal Tendencies show.
Oh, wow.
Pantera was playing the next night, and it sold out. I couldn't get tickets, so it was completely sold out. Pantera Crowbar. Couldn't get tickets, so I went to go see Suicidal Tendencies and Infectious Grooves, and we're leaving the show, and somebody goes, dude, that's Vinnie Paul. I'm like, what? I walk up, and I just go, hey, man, how you doing? My name's Scott. I just wanted to say hi. We wanted to come and see you tomorrow night.
But you didn't walk up to him and say, "Hey, man, I have a problem with you."
No. I walked up and went, you son of a... No, I just went up and, you know, again, just, you know, freaking out that, holy crap, this is Vinnie Paul. And I'm like, I just wanted to say hi. I go, I wanted to, you know, buy tickets to see you tomorrow night, but you sold out too quick. I go, you know, hopefully the next time around, this is still on the Vulgar tour.
Right.
And he goes, what's your name? Scott. What's your last name? He pulls out a little pad out of his pocket, writes it down. He goes, come to the guest window tomorrow night. Tell him you're on my list. And I'm like, he goes, just don't blow it up and don't tell nobody. I'm like,
No way.
I go running back. My
That-
friend Jill is with me, and I look at her. I go, dude, Vinnie Paul just gave me a pair of tickets so we can come back here tomorrow night. She goes, I want a pair of tickets too. Runs up to him. He goes, I want tickets. And he looks at me. I'm like, I don't know her. I'm just.
Oh, wow.
Never forget
Don't you
that.
hate that?
And did he leave the tickets?
The next night we came back for the Pantera show, went up, and I was like, Vinnie Paul said I'm on his guest list tonight. And she's like, here you go, pair of tickets. And I'm like, you know, just head exploding.
See,
Like that
that's-
cemented me as a
That's
Pantera
the
fan.
essence of this show. Hearing a story like that, like that's something that him and I could never experience. That's a great interaction with that band.
Well, you'll
Holy
experience that
shit.
when I play Madison Square Garden, and I'll say Jeffrey
I'm
Paul.
busy that night.
If you want to be on my guest list,
No, I got to get the grizzly pad that night.
that's great. So now that's the Volga. That we went from the Volga tour. We went through up to.
I totally
Trendkill.
went backwards.
Yeah,
I started with
It's a great story, though.
So
It's
we
a
go up
great
to
story.
Trendkill, and that's what they trail off after a while. They do the down. They do Damage Plan in between.
No.
That was after they were
Damage Plan
done,
was
right?
after everything. After Pantera was done, and that was the brothers' response to Down.
Right.
That was them, like, because I love the name. Damage Plan was like,
It's a great name,
That
yeah.
was the whole response to not having Phil in the band anymore.
And it was cool because like they go from playing these huge arenas now, and then Damage Plan. It happens when you have these big bands and they start a new band. They never really start off at the top again. They're playing these smaller places. So I think they were playing like the whole Starland, smaller.
The only time I
smaller
saw
venue
them
scene.
was at Starland Ballroom with Shadows Fall. It was Shadows Fall and Damage Plan on a co-headliner tour.
That's another band that should have just been so much bigger than they were.
Dude, they keep talking that they're going to be coming back and doing some sort of a reunion, anniversary, tour, concert, something.
Did you ever hear them, Shadows Fall?
I have, but here's the problem with that is, and I mean Scott probably knows better than we do, is like where's the outlet where you're going to play this new music?
Well, locally here we have
We got
WSOU. You know what I mean?
guys in the
And then,
hall. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
we have WSOU, which is the hard rock station from Seton Hall.
Right.
And
I know that station.
They're the major heavy metal hard rock station.
But it reaches a very small audience. I mean, you talk about wanting to blow up. I mean, you can play Starland Ballroom or a venue seats 1,500. But we're talking about being able to play a PNC like a Megadeth can't play PNC by themselves. It's like
Listen, every band's got to start somewhere. Every band has that nucleus, that beginning. I mean,
where does a new metal band start? Like where's the outlet?
Well, that's
to
the
listen
problem.
to
Is a new metal band now. If you don't hit right away, you're done.
Right.
There is no you used to have there was a build. I mean, there were bands that came out. I mean, listen, Metallica was always a big band, but when the Black record came out, you remember that video on MTV.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody saw that video. First, you had one,
By
and then the Black album
by the time
came
the
out.
Black album came out,
No.
they were already a big band.
They were a big band, but then when the Black album came out, it exploded, and then everybody went back and started buying the old records.
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
Exactly. Like I think Volbeat is a good
Example.
example. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
That's a
Did I
complicated
ever
word.
mention I do this like part time?
Yeah.
But I mean, like you look at a band like Volbeat that I saw them opening up for some like Euro power metal band. Volbeat was opening up. I'm like, wait, they're the opener?
I
And I'm
saw
like,
them open for Metallica in Vegas.
You saw them with Metallica, and that's a band that I've seen go from playing to 1,500 to Giant Stadium. That's like one of the few.
Yeah.
That's one of the last bands I've seen. Get to go
Volbeat
from the
on their
small
own
to
can't play a stadium.
You're correct, but
yeah,
they're-
not yet, not yet.
But they're on they got their own headlining summer tour.
Yeah,
they're going to be
they're touring
doing.
a Clutch. It's another huge band.
But again, you need that other band, and,
Yeah, at
and they're
this
going to be
point-
lucky if they
Yeah,
sell out
I mean, at
again.
this point, you have to do a lot of these. A lot of these bands have to do combo,
That's the
almost
thing.
co-headline shows or festivals.
But you do it also from a financial point of view. That if
Sure.
you do a co-headliner, and like two bands like Clutch and Volbeat, you're bringing your audiences together. A Clutch fan might not know Volbeat and vice versa, and they're going to hear a new band. And, you put bands like that together. One of my favorite shows of the summer is going to be the Deftones Gojira, because I think it's so completely polarizing
very different.
audiences.
Yeah.
And then you got this new band, Puppy. If you haven't heard of Poppy,
Poppy.
excuse me. There is a band called Puppy, too, if you haven't checked them out. Listen. But this Poppy band is so freaking weird. And then you got Gojira that is going to absolutely level the place. And then Deftones, you don't know what they're going to play. You don't know if they're going to play the heavy stuff, the lighter stuff. You don't, it's a great mix of music this summer. And every band you can think of is on freaking tour.
This summer,
we've been talking about that.
I've got 9 pairs of tickets already.
There's not one band.
Sean posted something, and I wasn't going to be like, yeah, me too. But he posted something about all the shows he's going to say. And then I'm looking at my calendar, and it's like, dude, I'm right up there with you. And we're probably going to cross.
Yeah, we're going to be at a few shows, but it's
Sean will have much better seats, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he already bought them all.
It is. You're right, though. It is hard for these new bands to really break out, and you know it from the business point of view too. Is that I don't know if they tell you to play certain stuff, but you have a great gig on your show because Scott plays the stuff we want to listen to. So if you picture like us just going in a car and you're like, we're going to drive 2 hours, I'm going to make the playlist. That's what he plays. And it's awesome because I know I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to hear a Pantera song, Typo Negative, Life of Agony, Ozzy, Black Label Society, Slayer. I'm going to hear that every Friday night. So it's really cool. But like, I love the fact that he likes to, he will play newer stuff too. And there's always like a band. Every once in a while, he'll text me, go, have you heard of this band? And I'm like, never did. And I'll listen to it. I'm like, wow, that's really good. And the first person you actually introduced me to was Bad Wolves. So
I like Bad Wolves.
It's a new band, but that's
a
great example of a band breaking out. And they broke out in a weird way with the first song as a cover.
Right.
And there was a whole backstory to the cover too, like the Zombie from the Cranberries they covered. And they were supposed to record with Dolores O'Riordan doing a vocal part, and she died the day before they were recording it.
Yeah,
and they donated all the money to I think to her.
Instead of the song coming out as a the two of them together as a duet, it came out as a tribute.
Right.
And but I mean, Tommy Vex just on his own has an amazing story,
right,
to be told. Like if you've seen the movie, you've seen the movie Rockstar,
of course.
Okay,
Tommy. In fact, I just did on next show we have Don Jameson coming in. I was on his show last week, and Ripper was also on the show.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
he's a cool dude. I like.
Oh,
him.
on Jameson's show. Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
I would say that Tommy Vex would be the same kind of a story, but modernized. I mean, that the guy just had so many different bands.
Vex alone was a great band.
Vex was awesome. And then what was the band with the guitarist? Divine Heresy from Dino from Fear Factory.
I didn't hear that band. I never heard that band.
He had Vex, he had Divine Heresy, and then he was bouncing around. He had another band, and then Bad Wolves started. But everything that's gone on in that guy's personal life to get him to where he is and where that band is just I don't want to ruin it because I won't tell the story well. I won't give it the proper dues. So you definitely need to go and check out Tommy Vex. I mean, he's just got a great story, and I love seeing him and that band because he's a local guy too. He was a New York, New Jersey guy, and moved out to California, and Bad Wolves is like this big band that's still coming up.
Yeah, they have a long way to go, but they hit the ground running, and now they're not the opening band; they're like the band above that.
So if they're to play New York, where are they playing?
By themselves?
Yeah,
Irving Plaza.
Okay, yeah, Starland Ballroom, Irving Plaza.
But they could probably do Starland by themselves.
But they're maybe Gramercy.
They're going to be.
They might be a little big for Gramercy at this point.
But they're going to be out this summer. I think that was the last place I saw them headlining.
They're on the Disturbed Stain tour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a show. DHA's Rock the Park this summer.
I will be there. I have my tickets already.
I'm looking forward to that, man.
I once went to one of those.
Rock the Park?
Yes, it was.
Wait, was it the Twisted Sister one going way back to
No.
Was Montclair?
Tell me this isn't a weird show. There were 4 bands. I forgot who one. One was Theory of a Dead Man, Cheap Trick, and their headliner was Quiet Riot. Is that the weirdest show you've ever heard?
This had to be like the year before I started, I think, because I don't remember that one. I love it, though.
It was 2004 or 2005. I'm going to say 2005.
I don't remember that one.
When Theory came out, they were a hard-hitting band. Their first album was very, very heavy. Now they're Czech rock. They're even beyond Czech rock. They're like mom rock at this point.
They were good. All those 3 bands were good. I forgot who the opener was.
That's a great show, though.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to actually. You guys are doing the Godsmack show, correct?
Yes. Our Rock the Rock Fest, the first time we've ever done this, presenting a show
Do
at.
you host any of these? Like, do you ever get on stage and introduce?
I've had the opportunity a couple of times. It's a wonderful thing getting up there, getting to do stuff like that, man.
You should do your show live from the Rock that night.
That's an idea. I'd rather
It
do
is
it.
Friday.
Hey, it is Friday night. That wouldn't be a bad
Technically,
idea.
you're not off the clock. You're not taking off.
I'd love to.
That's got to be the best.
It's a great show. It's Godsmack, Hailstorm, Theory of a Dead Man,
Wait,
Dirty Honey, which is a band I just found.
Oh, they're great.
And you will absolutely love them.
You had me at Hailstorm,
And
I haven't
Hailstorm's
seen them
great.
yet. I love them.
Another band on their Dinosaur Pileup. It was a very cool new rock band you got to check out too. There's something you dig.
See, we had this ongoing feud about Greta Van Fleet because I know they suck and he doesn't agree with me. But
Hey, listen, I know people love that band.
I just think they're doing good things for
Dirty.
live rock.
Oh, yes.
Which is,
Dirty Honey blows
taking
this
it.
band out of the water.
listen
And they
to them.
sound a lot like Zeppelin too. They
got-
have a very Zeppelin vibe as well.
they got
but
a
it's more of
70s
a,
rock
it's more
vibe.
of a rock, like a real rock vibe. Yeah, you'll definitely dig them. Check them out.
Now I got Rolling Sevens playing in my head.
Yeah,
Just
that's a great
thinking
song.
the other day I was playing it. Yeah, you got to check out Dirty. There's so many. The thing is, like, there are so many great bands right now, and it's just. I think it's a little bit. It's easier to find them because you click on a YouTube video and then it goes, well, if you like that, you might like this, but it's also kind of harder to find them. I mean,
In a way, yeah. If you don't have Sirius XM or if you don't listen to, other forms of like streaming media and stuff, there's really no other outlet because I can remember going back in the day and buying Metal Edge magazine and seeing a picture of a band and going, wow, this band looks really cool. And like, I did it with Testament. I had no idea what Testament was. I was like, wow, this band looks really badass. And I bought Practice When We Preach. And I was like, whoa. Okay. But like there was also bands I was like, wow, this chick is really hot. I'm like, wow, that's Poison. Anyway.
Striper, the drummer from Striper.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
aside from listening to Sirius XM, do you ever listen to regular radio and Scott's station, of course?
I listen to. I don't listen to too much regular. I mean, I'm getting to that age where I prefer to listen to 1010 Wins to listen to the traffic and to listen to what's going on. But I don't. I
God,
never listen to regular radio.
You are.
I'm an
fun
old
now.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm an
are.
old man. I don't listen to much regular radio. I canceled Sirius because I realized I was just paying for it every month and I was just listening to one station all the time. So I cancel it. Now I stream his show. It's more podcasts and I like to pick my own music, so I put my own stuff on. But yeah, you got to. I mean, iHeartRadio. Check out Scott on WDHA FM.
Because again, talk about trying to build an audience. For a new band, like we just mentioned so many bands, and like some of these things just got going over my head because you just don't have access to them.
You need to go to a rock concert early. When you see that there's a show coming around and you see that there's 5 bands on the bill, you're like, I'm just gonna sit in the parking lot. I don't want to see those other bands.
I am
drink my beer in the parking lot.
guy.
Going for the
I'm in
headliner.
if I'm in Madison Square Garden, I'm down the block, and like they say, the concert's gonna start in 20 minutes. Okay, we're gonna leave in a half hour. Okay, and we're gonna do a couple of more shots here, and then like I'm ready to go.
Well, this is what's great about us is that we get to go to a lot of concerts together. And our first guest, Chris, is the stage manager at Starland. So the day before, I always text him and go, I need the set list. So that morning, when he's loading in and stuff, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see, okay, this band's on at this time. And I know exactly the times that these bands are going on. So I'll be like, hey, Scott, we're going to be drinking at the VFW across the street until 3 minutes before 10 o'clock. And we just stroll in and boom.
They go on 7:55. If we were in there at 7:50, no problem.
Exactly.
No, but when you see like new bands on the bill, and if you don't know who they are, look them up online. That's the easiest thing to do is when you go into a show and you see bands that you're not familiar with, you look them up online and then, maybe get into the show early and check them out and find a new band.
I did that with Shinedown when I knew like 45 and Burning Bright, like the big radio songs, but I never really like went deep into them. And I was actually going to a show to see Seether. I had liked them at the time, and Shinedown was opening for them. It was at Starland again. We should be sponsored by Starland. I've been saying that word about 13 times tonight.
It's a great venue,
but
it really is.
Guarantee. I'm going to make you this guarantee. Before 2020 is over, we will have Starland sponsoring this show.
Absolutely. So I go and see Shinedown, and that was, I mean, again, I walked in, and they decimated that crowd. It was before Sound of Madness when they started getting a little poppier. They were still a little heavy. They blew that stage apart, and it was just Seether came on and started with a ballad, and you just saw the people filing out. And by 3 songs in, it was half full. Like people were just blown away by this band so much that the headliner just meant nothing anymore. I will go to a show. Like we also grew up in the time with Ozfest too.
Yes.
And Ozfest was a different experience because Ozfest would have like 3 stages from 9 o'clock in the morning until midnight.
Well, we were also a lot younger when Ozfest was
that's
going
true,
on, and
too.
we could go to a show at 11 in the morning, eat breakfast on the grill, drink, have lunch, and then
When
go
did
on.
Ozfest start?
Ozfest.
97?
Okay.
Something
All
like that was
96.
giant. The first one we had in the area was Giant Stadium, Marilyn Manson, Machine Head, Pantera.
I saw a
Ozzy
couple having
Osbourne.
sex right in the middle of the stands at Giant Stadium when Marilyn Manson was on. This chick was so coked out or whatever she was. And she just picked up her skirt and he's just railing her from behind.
Oh, God.
While Manson's playing. And she's just, you could tell in her mind she's thinking, that's him doing it. Like, that's him. Like, she made that connection that was happening.
Disgusting.
I
it's
feel
horrible.
something like that out on Randall's Island, Pearl Jam, up on the top, and I'm working the show. Okay, and just a couple just going at it, and he just kept walking back and forth. Just wanted to make sure they were okay. Yeah,
just checking.
because I'm a creepy guy.
Oh,
And,
Lord.
I never knew that about you.
there's just something like just so nasty about just like having like public concert sex. It's just like,
Oh, it's disgusting.
No,
it's
no.
just so
but you gotta look at it. No,
Dude, when you go to a concert,
Is it
you
just
bump-
me?
Listen, when
Yes,
you
it's
go-
just you.
Yeah, it is.
Like, am I the weirdo in the room?
Apparently, yes.
100%. You go to a concert, you bump into somebody, and you're like, "Ooh, hand
Don't touch me.
sanitizer." You're like, "Oh God, no, that was gross."
But that was probably the best time for as far as festivals go because you did get to experience a lot of bands that were.
I found so many bands at Ozfest.
too.
And even the Mayhem Festival, opened me up to new bands. And with that hopefully being announced very soon that they're doing something for the Mayhem Festival for the first time in 5 years.
Right.
I'm hoping there's going to be a new opportunity for new bands to get out there and get in front of people.
It was cool because in that time frame too, there was like labels like Roadrunner Records who were really signing everybody under the sun, and they were putting them out on all these festivals. So like I had friends in a band called El Nino, and they got on there. And then it was other friends' bands were starting to get on and get bigger and bigger. But then you would see like Fear Factory, Hatebreed. I don't think Slayer ever did Ozfest, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Slayer was on the Ozfest. I think Pantera, wasn't it Pantera and Slayer one year on Ozfest main stage?
That could very well. My main Ozfest like memory is like having to wait online for Kerry King to sign my.
You just said it was Slayer at Ozfest. I
all right,
waited to
shut
meet
up.
Kerry
I made a
King.
mistake. Right. This is why I hate him. I hate his
You know
guts.
what? Every time he speaks, I like him more and more.
Shut up, Jeffrey. I had to wait. BLS was playing. I was waiting to get my Decade of Aggression, that little
Yeah, the box set.
And Kerry King was an hour and a half late for a signing.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you know what? I hate this band. I really do.
I'm not even going to remember they played here tonight.
Yeah.
I like
Shut
what
up.
all it takes for Sean to hate you. Yeah.
Oh, no.
You're
I've
letting
hated him for a
traffic-
long
It's not
time.
much.
No
Fuck
worries.
you. I hate
It's not
you.
much. It's
No,
not
I've
much.
hated him
It's
for a
very
long time.
easy. It
Totally
happens
fine.
like that.
Yeah. Usually there's about 6 or 7 shots of Jaeger, or no, Jameson. And about 5 Guinnesses, and then I really start to hate Scott.
What shows have you guys seen together?
Oh my God.
Better question. How many shows have we not
Not seen together. Yeah, we're the concert
More
people.
than 12?
Oh, God, yes.
Probably
Last year.
Probably, yeah, we're going to be, by the end of next year, I'll probably hit 100, I would say.
The one thing, I really miss about concerts is the ticket stub.
Yeah.
There's no more ticket
the
stub.
ticket stub.
Now you print them out at home. Otherwise, they charge you to send you a real
charge you.
ticket.
I have.
The ticket stub was
I'm gonna
the-
have a Christmas gift
That
for
was
you.
the least expensive
this
thing you could
Christmas.
bring home from a concert as a memento.
Right.
I
And
got
they don't
something
even
for you.
give you that anymore. Now it's a piece of paper that, by the time you go to the concert, you pull it back out of your pocket later, and it is just shoot.
I still have them in a lunchbox, all ticket stubs going back to probably 93 or 94, up until when they stopped doing them.
Yeah.
And I had them in this huge glass frame, and I had it hung up in my apartment at the time, all laid out, everything from Pantera to the Cranberries, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Local H, like all these bands I had.
So local H at Roseland.
I saw them open up for Aerosmith.
You sort of Toad the Wet Sprocket.
I love Toad the Wet Sprocket. I don't want to hear it. And I love Rick Springfield, and he's wearing the shirt tonight,
and
too.
you know what?
Listen, I'll take Rick Springfield over Toad the Wet Sprocket any day.
I got to back up Sean on this. I'm like Toad the Wet Sprocket.
I'm trying to help you with the Rick Springfield thing, and you're not going to help me with the
First
Toad
of
the
all-
Wet Sprocket. Come on.
I love Sammy Hagar.
Me too.
Sammy is a
Been
big
to Mexico to see him.
big fan of Rick Springfield.
Yeah.
One of his biggest hits.
We're all agreeing.
Okay.
Screw Toad the Wet. Why Toad the Wet Sprocket? Why are you going to go with him on this?
Because I remember
Because
in the
they're good.
box. I remember in the
Told
box
the Red
the big
Sprocket is
brown
good.
ticket. You know, open up for Marcy Playground.
Come on, something's always wrong is a great song.
Something like that.
Walk
What was
on
it?
the Ocean. It's a
Oh,
great song.
That song sucks. I'm taking your legs out of that. That one I don't like. But something's always wrong. All I Want is a great song. Come on. We're
going to wrap this podcast up now. No, listen, but that's the thing, though. It was going back in the day, and you're absolutely right. That was a great memento.
Yeah.
And now what they kind of do,
ticket
too,
stubs.
a lot of bands do now, which is, it's actually a very big money market, is the show posters.
Yes.
And a lot of bands will do is now individual show posters. I know Pearl Jam does them.
Primus does them all the time.
Primus, yeah, the worst band ever.
He hates them.
I was texting him at the Slayer show. Primus opened up for them, and he's all into Primus, and I just think they're hot garbage.
Dancing like a fool, and everybody's looking at
I
me
don't
like,
think they're that bad.
Oh, they're horrible.
No, really?
Yeah,
we're
not
back-
greater
we're
than
back-
Flea
We're back on
Market.
the same
man.
page again. We're back on the same page.
It was just-
stick with
oh,
me.
it
Forget
was
about Toad the
horrible.
Wet Sprocket and just stick with me.
It was just
I'm gonna
bad.
have to deal with them every week. Yeah.
But they do. A lot of bands do these individual posters now. So, like, again, Primus does them. They're really great. Tool's doing them now too.
Ching.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
Of course. Well, that's how they have to. They're not making money on records
No.
anymore.
Who the hell's buying it? You remember tour programs? You remember getting that? A big glossy book of photographs that
Sure.
somebody took?
The first one I had, and the only one I had, was Kiss. First concert I ever went to.
I still have-
big, giant.
Yeah, things like huge.
Yeah,
Just like,
it was
wow,
Kiss.
photographs of the band. Because
Right.
I only had that little camera. You go click, click, you know, the little flash on the top. Oh, wait, let me flip it over. Yeah, Kiss, Striper, and there's one other sitting at the house somewhere. I forgot what it was, but I know I have one from
I
Kiss
want to
and
throw my
Striper.
phone at you. I hate Striper.
Dude, that was the first concert. Ugh. That was the first concert, man. Striper with Hurricane opening up. Na 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 na.
No.
I'm on to
So
you.
now,
Toad the
what
Wet-
I
come on.
Now what I do is when I go to these concerts, if they do have the tour poster, I buy them. And you've been to my place, and my whole hallway is lined with all these posters. I mean, I got them from Lady Gaga in Vegas, Chris Stapleton, Pussifer. Gaslight Anthem is very big on that. But the thing what they do is they only make like 100 for the show, and they sell for gigantic money on the aftermarket. So you buy them for like $25 at the show, or even $30. Some people like will
Framed?
No,
No.
just loose, and then I buy the frame, whatever. But a lot of people will buy autographed ones, but they go for like $100, $200. Like,
I spent an idiotic amount of money to get a Primus autograph poster.
What's
It
an
was-
what's an
like
idiotic?
$7.
Yeah. God, I wish. You're like, I'm pulling out the credit card.
Tell me how much you spent on this.
Yeah.
It's gonna determine how hard I punch you in the face.
I think it was $100.
You paid $100 for a
that's fine.
Primus poster?
It was no, wait.
Autographed.
It might have been 75.
Autographed though, right?
Yes, it was autographed.
Worth it.
Because I think they were doing like 40 for, you know what? It was 40 without, 75 with the autograph. Now
That's
I
like
remember.
That's what
$72
I
is
would
too much.
I would
But
have done the same thing.
It was Halloween night. I've never met all of the members of Primus in the same place. I've only like seen them sporadically and been like, hi,
Well,
you
just
know.
walk into the Walmart when they're greeting them when they're not touring.
That's horrible. That's horrible. That's
Come
rude.
on,
That's rude.
they do the South Park thing.
Yeah, and I hate the South Park theme too. It's freaking horrible.
Just a hateful person.
I do. I hate a lot of stuff, people. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a hateful filled person.
But like Toad the Wet Sprocket.
I like they're relaxing. It brought me back to a very nice point in my life. 1995. It was relaxed. It was chill. It was high school.
95 was listening to Pantera and
So was I. I was in the Pit at Pantera, but I was also a Toad the Wet Sprocket and the Cranberries.
That-
I'm diverse.
Oh, I like the Cranberries.
You're
diverse.
allowed to be diverse. It's
Yes.
quite okay.
But
Yeah, it isn't like Zombie and Disarmed by Smashing Pumpkins are the exact same song. It's the exact same song.
is it really?
Yeah, if you listen to the chords of it, it's the exact same song. It's just
Can I check
strummed.
that out tonight?
It's just strummed a little differently.
Well,
I think that's just about every song.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really.
No, but it is the exact same chord changes.
Oh,
Listen, Hair of the Dog by Nazareth, right? And Day Tripper by the Beatles is the same exact riff.
Yeah, okay.
No, note for note, the same exact riff. No, we're not. No one's fucking changing the wheel at this point. You know what I mean? Like no one's reinventing anything like that. It's all the same shit.
Well, the bass line in "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You" and 25 and 624 is the exact same bass line.
I don't
The
listen
exact-
to Chicago either because I like pussy. So
Okay.
Chicago, 6th grade. My brother had
Chicago.
nobody to go
How
with.
can you
I
say
went.
that? Chicago is.
I like
Early Chicago was amazing.
No, I like old Chicago. I like Look Away. I like You're the Inspiration.
That's not
Stay the
early
Night.
Chicago.
No, I said late Chicago. That's the kind of stuff
Okay.
I like. I don't listen to like that whole deep fucking 97-piece band bullshit.
Oh, it's great.
No.
Oh, that's great. You don't like 25-624?
No.
And you don't think, oh, dude, you are Terry. Please, Scott, help me here. Terry Kath, great guitar player, one of the all-time greats.
Who?
Terry Kath.
I saw that coming a while away.
Oh, you guys
listen.
think now I just got double teamed.
Listen,
by the worst double team
I've seen Chicago. I went to go see him. Like I said, that was like 6th grade or something. My brother had somebody bail him. He's like, "You want to go to a concert?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I could go back to school and go, "I went to a concert." You know,
Yeah,
who was
exactly.
it? Chicago. You know, it was 5th,
Oh,
6th
yeah,
grade.
we went to shitty concerts when we were
Chicago's
kids
great.
too.
It was fun.
I remember we were talking about this the other day. I saw a culture club with the Beach Boys.
That's a weird combination.
Right? I remember that as a little kid, but like that was again the same thing.
Oh,
You walk
weird
in,
combination.
Yeah,
Little
it
kid
was.
last summer. Who you kidding?
I had to re-go back to my Cocoa roots. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this
We're
up.
gonna
I think
wrap it up.
this is a great episode tonight.
was fun,
I'm not
man.
gonna lie, this was
Really.
a lot of fun.
This is weird being on this side of the whole
I
thing.
know.
Like,
I
when he
know.
asked me to do this, I'm like, how do you go in front of? I'm like, okay, like it's just kind of weird being on this side of the table. I guess
Well,
you could
it's
say.
cool too because you do have a great voice for radio, but when you're doing rock radio and you're introducing songs, you're only getting like 30 to 90 seconds in between the songs sometimes too
Right.
when you're doing your set. So this is a little more laid back. And when me and Jeff, we're talking about doing this and we decided to start it, you were actually one of the first people I thought of to
Thank
bring
you,
on the
man.
show.
That was a lot of fun
It's
tonight.
never going to happen again.
Probably not.
But so listen, give them your social media plugs and.
Scott Evil on Instagram. I think it's Scott Evil on Instagram. What is it? Scott Evil WDHA?
Scott Evil WDHA.
Scott Evil WDHA on Instagram. That's my best place. And of course, Metal Mania on WDHA on Facebook.
What day of the week do you?
Every Friday night, Metal Mania, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then when you're hungover and you wake up Saturday morning, I am back on the radio at 10 in the morning.
Oh wow!
So I go until
Yeah.
1 a.m. I come home, I take a nap, and I'm back at it at 10 a.m. rocking out.
And you're busting his balls about not going out on Friday night concerts.
Exactly. It's not easy.
You
on the
gotta
weekend.
go
He's not
excuse
happy. He's not a happy person on Saturday night concerts either.
Saturday night concert, just give me a couple of shots and a coffee, and I'm pretty good to go. But yeah, every
Wait,
Friday night, 11 to 1.
That's a comics lifestyle too.
It really is. Yeah, we're miserable people
Without the
during day.
paycheck.
Couple of shots and coffee. That's
No, I'm one of those
a good one.
comics who actually makes money.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
difference.
I'm
You're making okay. I
I'm
got you.
pooping on myself there.
Check it out if you're not in the Jersey, North Jersey area. For
can listen-
WDHA. You can listen on iHeartRadio. You can get it all 24/7.
WDHAFM.com.
Yep.
Definitely easiest way to go. Just stream it right through the website, or if you got iHeart, listen there. Just listen. It's fun. I promise. And I give away stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to our next episode.
Yeah, we are back in 2 weeks, and then big news. We're going to start doing this starting March every week.
Nice.
Okay.
Me and Jeff get to bash each other for an hour weekly now. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
I got to say, it was a pretty even match tonight.
It was. I
You
went,
guys-
I went very light. Jeff's a little.
You were very
Jeff's
polite
a little,
this evening.
No, Jeff's a little.
Fragile?
He gets. Yeah, it's a little. He gets
I'm
hurt.
sensitive.
Yes,
I'm very
he's very in
sensitive.
touch with his Chicago side. So,
But just so you know, some of the contests I have coming up. Okay, in March I have Sticks at the Beacon.
oh, okay.
I have Air Supply at the St. George Theater.
Sorry, I couldn't
even
even
keep
keep
a
a
no.
straight
straight
face
Well,
when you said air supply.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm a married guy.
Okay.
And if you have let me ask you, if you had a choice, sure, you're married. Okay. If you have a choice between going to see some rom-com or at least a live music, what are you going to say?
Rom-com.
rom-com.
Oh, you
if you talk between Sticks and Air
Supply?
Supply,
No.
No.
No,
At least I'm
I'll-
going to see
I'll take-
live
I'll-
music and
no.
musicians and stuff.
Listen, I've seen Bauhaus like 17 times over the past 17
Yeah.
years.
No,
or Peter
you-
Murphy, at least.
I always tend to go for the music. Like, look, even like the Friday night, I have no plans. Lauryn Hill's playing in Montclair. I might go see Lauryn Hill. Like I'll listen.
That's a
I'll
good-
see.
that's a
I'll
good
see
get.
anything. You know what I mean? So
not Air
no, I
Supply.
agree with that.
It's not air supply.
It's not Air Supply though.
They have a couple of good. They have a great Jim Steinman cover.
Listen,
Love
we
Out of
made a
Nothing at
great
All.
show out of nothing at all tonight, guys. So Guys, thank you for.
And with that, Scott just left.
Scott leaves the building. Thank you for checking out the episode. Next episode, we have from That Metal Show, Don Jameson, great comedian, and great singer-songwriter Cassidy Catanzaro, formerly from Antigone Rising, coming in. Might be performing on the show, too.
I can't wait.
And we got some great episodes lined up in March, so thank you for checking us out. Hit subscribe on iTunes. Spread the word as much as you can. Give us 5-star reviews on there. They're already coming in. We're getting emails from people wanting to come on the show, which is great after only 2 episodes. So keep spreading the word. We're going to keep doing this as long as you keep wanting us to do it. So thanks for checking us out. Jeffrey Paul.
Good night, everybody. Thank you again. Sean said it all. And Scott is leaving the building right now.
See you guys later.